It's the road trip that's on everyone's bucket list, even for a Californian like me who's never done it before.
The Pacific Coast Highway stretches from San Francisco in Northern California down to San Diego in the south.
It's 500 miles in total and includes the jaw-dropping landscape of Big Sur.
Here's how we did Highway 1 with 2 kids over 3 days. First, catch a quiet flight into San Francisco. Explore this vibrant city with its crazily steep streets for a few days before starting your epic road trip from the best starting gate in the world. Start early and grab some photos at Mason Street or on the beach next to it. That way you'll get panoramic pictures of the Golden Gate Bridge and you'll avoid the crowds at the vista points. Photos done? It's time to jump into your car, get the roof down and drive to the start line. Turn around in the Vista car park and pay for your bridge toll online. You can't pay by cash as you go through anymore. Do it now, or your trip could get a whole lot more expensive. When you get off the bridge, take Lincoln Boulevard to get to the coast as quickly as you can. Highway 1 begins on some very normal roads, so by heading west, you'll soon be next to the ocean and enjoying the views you've been looking at online for the past 2 months. Now's a great point to look out for the El Camino Real bells. They line the route down to San Diego and mark the trail that the early settlers used to reach all 21 of California's missions. Over the past century, more than half of the 450 bells were stolen, but lots have recently been restored and replaced. After 2.5 hours on the road, your first stop will be Santa Cruz. It's the birthplace of surfing in the USA. 3 Hawaiian students shocked locals when they rode the waves on planks of wood here back in 1885. It's also famous for its boardwalk, which you might recognise from the Lost Boys movie. And its 90-year-old Big Dipper is still holding its own against the modern rides. It's a perfect place to stop for some lunch and get ready for a busy afternoon. What do you think of the drive so far?
Great.
If you give yourself 2 hours to eat that mammoth burger and explore, you'll reach Monterey by 2:30. It's a quaint place full of seafood restaurants and has a cool fishing village vibe. It's also home to the famous aquarium. You could stop here for food instead of Santa Cruz if you'd like. An hour on and you'll quickly realise that the shops and houses have disappeared and it's just you, the ocean and the road. There's no Las Vegas style sign which tells you when you're in Big Sur. The rugged coastline and lashing waves make a much more impressive impact than any neon sign could make. As you begin to climb into the hills, the temperature drops. What surprised us even more though was the coastal fog, even during the hot Californian summer. There are loads of places to pull over and admire the view, but we kept driving until we reached Bixby Bridge. The 280-foot structure is a sight to behold, especially as it's in the middle of nowhere. Super cool selfies are a must. Once you cross the bridge, it's time to wind your way further south. Pfeiffer Beach is definitely worth stopping for, if you can find it. We've put foolproof directions on our website. Its keyhole arch and purple sand are a sight to behold for all ages. It's well worth the $10 parking fee. Enjoy a meal with a view at Nepenthe before another magical stop at McWay Falls. No time for any more stops though. Drive straight to San Simeon or Cambria, where you'll stay overnight. Make sure you've booked in advance though, or you might be sleeping in your car. As you probably arrived late, start day 2 by exploring where you stayed overnight. We walked across the road from our hotel and got a special soundtrack as we looked out across the ocean.
Get on.
LA-based fellow Brit Marcus Lopez Iglesias, who's played with Lamal and Duran Duran, uses Big Sur to help inspire his songwriting. A unique experience which could only happen on a road trip like this. Just a few minutes away from San Simeon is Piedras Blancos, where you'll get to meet California's elephant seals up close. These guys formed a colony here in 1990, and they've never left. San Simeon is also the former home of media mogul William Randolph Hearst.
Welcome to my new home.
Hearst Castle welcomed the rich and famous during its 1920s heyday. It's very Gatsby. And as you wander around the opulent rooms and magnificent swimming pools, you can't help but imagine what it might have been like to party here with the likes of Buster Keaton, Greta Garbo and Charlie Chaplin. There are secrets everywhere, from the tiles on the steps to the tiles on the tennis court, which form the skylights for the beautiful Roman pool below. The tours are great, but book before you leave San Francisco to make sure you get the time and tour you want. Look out for the old zoo as you make your way down from the castle, and grab some lunch before you leave. Every mile from here is just another step back into reality. Just over an hour away is San Luis Obispo. Jump off the highway at the Madonna Inn for a rest stop with a difference. It's the kitschiest hotel in the world, with a different theme for every room. You'll get a good feel for this in the men's toilets. It's a cave, which cascades water when you go for a pee. The rugged landscape quickly becomes lush again as you come to the strawberry fields of Lompoc and enter the wine country made famous in the film Sideways. Going well. 2 hours left of driving. Next, leave Highway 1 to visit the amazing town of Solvang with its cookie-cutter Danish architecture. It was occupied by Danes in 1911 and the culture continues today. There are now more windmills here within 2 square miles than anywhere outside of Denmark. Make sure you stop for a Danish pastry, if you can pick just one, and then give yourself a well-earned break. Head on to the One via any mode of transport. Instead of staying at a normal hotel, we decided to try glamping at El Capitan Canyon, where you can even treat yourself to a massage. We had our own cabin with all the home comforts we could want, but also our own fire pit, which was perfect to watch the wildlife run past us while we toasted marshmallows. If you're there on the right night, you can watch a movie at one of their outside screenings. After a great night's sleep, it was time to leave El Capitan Canyon.
I like it here.
And begin our final day on the road. The 101 through Santa Barbara is a lot like any road in California for a bit, but with the top down, there was the chance to play a few games with the truckers. After half an hour, Highway 1 returned, and we had the ocean as our partner again. Malibu is the first place you reach. This is where Hollywood's biggest stars have their beachfront mansions. You're more likely to see someone famous here than in downtown LA. We would have stopped here for lunch, but the kids had fallen asleep. You should think about stopping at Paradise Cove, the Paramount Ranch, or have a bit of culture at the Getty Villa. We continued down to Los Angeles through Santa Monica and its famous pier, which includes the world's first solar-powered Ferris wheel. Then through the weird and wonderful Venice Beach, and we even got to do that cool drive under the planes at LAX. LA traffic. Going nowhere. Still fun to look around though. Yes, we were driving through LA traffic, but it's another point where you get to think about how amazingly varied this special route is. We finally stopped for some lunch at Hermosa Beach, with the usual Southern Californian sights on the boardwalk. Now into Orange County and the home straight, through Huntington Beach and down to Long Beach, where the Queen Mary's now a hotel. Dana Point is where Highway 1 officially ends, but the Pacific Coast Highway and the 101 continues after half an hour on the freeway. Get off at Oceanside and make sure you see the longest wooden pier over water on the west coast. Just up from there is the famous Top Gun house on Pacific Street. Make sure you get some photos before it's moved for a new development. Yes, it looks a bit different from when Tom Cruise was there, but it's still a cool piece of movie history to visit. La Jolla's the first real neighbourhood in San Diego, so if the sun's about to set, head to the cove to watch it go down next to the birds and the seals on the rocks. Just don't get too close. It's an ideal place to finish your epic journey. If you've arrived earlier though, head down to the south of San Diego and finish your drive at the Cabrillo Monument. It's on the southernmost tip of California and the United States, with Mexico just a few minutes away. Grab a drink and let a San Diego sunset give you the best possible finish to one of the best road trips in the world. Hit subscribe to find out what to do in San Diego in our next video. Plus, head to our website lifeofriley.tv for everything you possibly need to know about this road trip, including an hour-by-hour itinerary.